Welcome to Empowered and Unstoppable, the show where high-achieving women crush self-doubt, ditch imposter syndrome, and step boldly into their greatness. I'm your host, Megan Bunnell, and together we'll unlock the mindset, strategies, and confidence you need to create unstoppable success on your terms. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to Empowered and Unstoppable, the podcast for high-achieving women who are done hustling through life and are ready to feel grounded, confident, and fully themselves. I'm your host, Megan Bunnell, life coach, speaker, and recovering overachiever. And here we talk about what it really takes to build a 10 out of 10 life without burning yourself out in the process. So here we are in late January, when the vision boards are already admittedly a little dusty, our routines are slipping, and most women are quietly thinking, well, that didn't last. And this isn't a pep talk to try harder or to keep going. It's a conversation about why change actually falls apart and what to do instead. So I want to start with something simple today. You know, most women, when they're posing questions to themselves, aren't actually asking, how do I become more confident? Or how do I change my life? What they're really asking quietly is, will it ever feel easier to be me? And if you have ever felt like you're constantly managing yourself, talking yourself through exhaustion, negotiating with your own needs, then my friend, this episode is for you. Because today I want to talk about one idea and what actually changes when you live it. So we're going to talk about the idea of stop leaving yourself. That's the phrase that I keep coming back to. Stop leaving yourself. Not in big dramatic ways, but in the everyday moments that seem harmless, but add up. See, you leave yourself when your body says slow down and you speed up. You leave yourself when your intuition says no and you override it. When your truth shows up and you silence it. When you promise yourself something and you break it quietly. See, burnout isn't about doing too much, and burnout isn't about you constantly feeling like you're on the go. It means burnout is really about leaving yourself so often that you stop trusting that you're going to be there. I want to tell you a quick story, and I need you to be honest with yourself while you listen. There was a season in my life where I kept telling myself, I'll deal with that later. Not big dramatic things, little things. I'll rest later. I'll say no later. I'll have that conversation later. I'll take care of myself once things calm down. Can you relate? But here's what I realized one day. There was always a reason that it wasn't the right time. Always. And one morning I caught myself saying it again. I'll get back to myself later. And it hit me like a gut punch. Later never comes when you're the one being postponed. Someday is not a day on the calendar, right? And that's the moment that I realized I wasn't overwhelmed. I was absent from my own life. I didn't have my own back. I had everybody else's. But that's what leaving yourself actually looks like. Not a breakdown, not a crisis, just repeatedly choosing everything and everyone else first until you disappear from your own equation. And perhaps with you, it isn't what I've been talking about. Maybe it's about your relationships. Maybe it's about work, your calendar, the voice inside your head, the people that you choose to spend time with, chronic pain. Leaving yourself can appear in so many facets of life. But the truth is, nothing's going to change, not a single thing, with sustainability until you make the choice to stop leaving yourself. And this is the part that I think I really want you to hear. Because stopping self-abandonment doesn't just sound good. Sounds great, right? But it produces real, tangible, sustainable change. Because this isn't abstract and it's not just mindset talk. It shows up in real life in very specific ways. So, one way is you stop negotiating with yourself all day long. And this one is the one that I think surprises women the most. When you stop leaving yourself, the constant inner debate that you have quiets down. So there's no more, should I say yes or no? No more, maybe I'm overreacting. No more, I'll just do it this once. You make cleaner decisions for you and you move on. That mental clarity alone feels like getting hours of your life back every week, and the energy it saves you is enormous. The second way it shows up is that your energy becomes steadier, not just higher. So it's not about having more hype or more motivation. It's about not leaking energy through your self betrayal. And so you'll notice things like you're not exhausted by your normal days. You stop resenting your calendar. You don't crash as hard at night or don't feel like you have to be a zombie in front of the TV. You still will do a lot. That's not going to change. You just don't abandon yourself while you're doing it. Another amazing benefit is that your relationships feel simpler. And this, my friends, is a big one. When you stop leaving yourself, you stop over explaining. You stop saying yes when you really meant no. You stop silently keeping score. And some conversations get clearer. Some dynamics will shift. And some people adjust. And some don't. But instead of spiraling about it, you trust yourself through it. Another benefit is that you feel grounded in who you are, even when life is loud. And we know that life can get so loud. And this one really is a subtle benefit, but powerful, because you won't need constant reassurance and you won't need everyone to agree with you, and you won't second guess yourself as much. You still care. You just don't disappear to keep the peace. Do you do that? I know I did that for so long. I allowed myself to just disappear so everybody else could be happy. Nobody else was upset. So that sense of internal steadiness, that's not confidence from achievement. That's self-loyalty. You being loyal to you. Another benefit is you stop waiting for life to slow down. And this one is huge because you're going to realize that life isn't going to magically calm down, that there will always be another season. And that later that you talk about, right, it just keeps moving to later. So instead of postponing yourself, you choose yourself inside your real life, not when things are perfect, not when kids are older, not when work is easier. Now, right now. Another thing that I love about stop leaving yourself is that you trust yourself again. And that is the biggest, most impactful result of all of them. When you stop leaving yourself, you keep small promises, you follow through, you believe in your own voice, and trust changes everything. Trusting yourself changes everything. You stop looking outside yourself for permission. You stop outsourcing your intuition. You stop wondering if you're doing life right? You just live it. So this isn't about becoming some new, better version of yourself. It's about finally staying with the one you already are and the one that you are becoming. The empowered and unstoppable you that is ready to have the one person that matters on her side. You. And that's when things start to change quietly, powerfully, and for good. I remember I once worked with a woman who said to me, I don't even know what I want anymore. But that wasn't true. She knew, she just felt guilty about it, didn't think it was possible, and definitely didn't trust herself to stay with it. And she stopped leaving herself in tiny ways at first, and then more and more, and something massive shifted. She stopped overworking. She stopped ignoring her body. She stopped explaining herself. And I loved the day that she came to me and she said, I finally feel like I'm on my own side. That's the result. Not perfection, not constant happiness, self-loyalty. So here's the truth with a lot of love, okay? If you keep leaving yourself, nothing changes, even if you want it to. Even if you start changes, they won't be sustainable. Nothing is going to change long term. But when you commit to staying, even imperfectly, next to your own side, everything becomes possible. And yes, it's work, deep work, unlearning work, incredibly meaningful work. And it's okay to need support in that. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not do it alone. Strong women don't do everything by themselves. They choose not to abandon themselves anymore. You don't need to become someone new, my friend. You need to stop disappearing from your own life. You need to stop leaving yourself because your body will feel safer. Your choices will feel cleaner, clearer. Your life will feel like it belongs to you again. And that is going to change everything. So if this landed for you, stay close, my friends. Follow along. Like this episode, subscribe to Empowered and Unstoppable, share this with somebody that you know needs to hear it, and reach out if you're ready. This work is for you, not because you're broken, but because you're done leaving your own damn self behind. You're ready to stop leaving yourself. So my friends, stay by your side. You deserve the one person in the world that matters most to have your back, and that's you. Until next time, stay empowered, stay unstoppable, and whatever you do, stay with yourself. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Empowered and Unstoppable. If today's episode spoke to you, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs a boost of empowerment. Are you ready to take your success to the next level? Visit www.meganbunnellcoaching.com. Remember, you're not just capable, you're unstoppable. See you next time.